I was just curious about that because I'd like to understand because the only kids that really go and attend that place is kids like that. Kid like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I heard stories that you were a perfect little angel. A perfect little angel. Just like I was.
I was just curious about how you felt about it. But I like, I agree. I agree buying cop cars. We all have to. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Like I say, I think he's trying to shift things up, and then once he gets there done, he's just going to need to get it done.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, because I got on the forum because Patty came to me and asked me, and then Sylvia said that because they're up to $5,000 or something, and then the water bill is supposed to get paid themselves for it, get donated somewhere else, pay for it. But if we get them going for the right direction and making it work for the citizens, for the nation and so on. I'm just curious.
I'm fine. I don't know.
It shouldn't. No, it all depends on what the outcome is. If it's a good thing, you keep it going. But if it's bad, then you stop. Henderson is good. We're going forward. We're getting progress on it. Then it should be okay if they come back. But whenever it's oh yeah, you cut them off. Oh.
Where's mine? Do I? Oh.
I know. That's awesome that you said
One with the fence around it.
because I have Patty and Lou. We need somebody that can be a green, somebody that can see the whole picture.
It's in the green. For all the green grass.
And they be gone.
Who's that?
That's Paul Summers.
Boy.
For the county, that memorial connection. I think. No. Oh.
Well, it's not a forum.
No.
There's nothing wrong talking about it. Yeah, we can talk.
Tell me if I'm doing something. Don't let me get in trouble.
There's only two of them.
I can get one.
If you have three, it's bad. It's just two's okay.
No, I mean the one I way over here.
You're not cross-eyed, are you? Are you cross-eyed too? You see four of us? Uh-oh. We're in trouble now.
I appreciate you saying that because that made up my mind. Because I've been asking about him all day. I just want people to understand that.
Paul Saunders or what's his name? Summers? Summers?
I just want people to
I just heard
understand
the name. I
about
don't
that
know.
grassy area.
I just
There's the names
saw
of people.
just heard his name and this stuff. But I haven't heard anything good
What?
now.
Is that a true statement or not? That around that memorial, the grass area, there's the body ashes.
Tell it.
Hey, thanks anyway. Appreciate having the conversation.
Then we got the food on your last trip. On the cruise.
I'll fill it out.
Okay.
That way I even have to,
Okay.
I'll fill it out tomorrow, I'll turn it in.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I sure will, because then I look at it tonight, I'd like to fill it out.
Okay. I mean,
Ship we're going on
it
is
won't be
a
this week, it'll be next week when it gets published, but.
Okay, I'll fill it out and put it out
Strawson or
there.
something
Okay,
or other.
sounds great.
Strawson Pond or something.
Okay. Oh, yeah, good to meet you too.
Billy Ellis.
Nice to meet you. Nothing real big. Yeah, well, that's what we're.
I'll use the right word, aggressive.
Well, all that's included, isn't it?
That is a straight up word.
Well, I got a $50 a day drink deal. That's what I both have.
You're growing it back.
Yeah, same here.
Well, I figured it out, man, I'll go a long way. Both of us have it.
Especially when this comes from a female. But,
Yeah, so what's got their, what has their knickers in a twist?
I'm sorry,
What has their knickers in a twist?
Deli, we never have a figure it out. I mean, this is, I don't know. We, our sole intent was initially to unify the power and accomplish that by landscaping.
So we're just gonna take it to the county.
It's gone south for what, I mean, it was like night and day. We were out there.
We fly.
Everything was great.
You're probably gonna do what we're doing. We fly to, then we take the trip up to Denali. Two nights there. If you take a bus back to Seward, we catch the ship at Seward and come down the inside passage and all of it and end up at Vancouver.
the way I feel about that power is, there is a lot of remains out there. And the less people that's walking around there doing all kinds of stuff, the better off it is. Nobody likes to,
But the lady
that's
that's
the
working there said,
all that out there. And I am all for it to beautifying it,
because of all the
making it better.
passport stuff and that.
I don't have no problem
And
with
then
it.
the other
It's
flight
just
to
being
get
able
out of
to
there
read.
would get us back to San Antonio like at midnight or 1 o'clock. So, you know, it's too late. I said, I said, why don't you just make a reservation to spend the night in Vancouver and night, we'll catch a flight the first thing in the morning. So she checks, she comes back and she said, All America has a spaceship on it, I'll give you a complimentary room.
Yeah, it has, especially when I've been told a lot of stuff, but I've never met you.
Yeah, you don't seem like a booger bear I've heard. I tell you what, I won't believe a word she says if you don't believe anything my wife says. How's that? Yeah, right.
I think the situation, what I've read and whatnot, to be on that commission, you have to be a resident of Aransas.
Really? Well, I didn't
I'm
know.
not on the commission. The board, I mean, the chamber had nominated me for our consideration. But Lou switched to point out that I was a board member of the chamber. I mean,
And I appreciate all kind of, all volunteer work.
that wasn't my goal. This whole thing is to be on the commission. I was looking at it more from the standpoint of liaison between the Chief Aransas County Uniform Commission.
Right.
More so than actually serving.
Just it sounds like in a nutshell it boils down to us against them. That's I grew up here and I've smelled this rat before.
You gotta get nuts.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it. All right, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, it's a pleasure meeting you, Paul.
He did good.
Consider with his wife, but my wife tried to find a place. I bumped into that thing there.
Hey, hey.
I'm gonna have my hanger in one of the walls.
At home. Where? In Rat? Oh. Man, Priscilla didn't feel like getting out. It was over. It was over the first kickoff. Or the first snap.
Yes, maybe it's what it's a put a drill in it. They haven't got that storage place yet.
I don't think they're going to.
I think they're gonna build something around the base and put some power and everything. Do something with it.
I thought that Habitat for Humanity, if they get build another house in there, they ought to take it with them.
Yeah, there's about 30 of them in town. I think you gotta run the board now. All these traders that you got to run. You get it right almost. Sir? No. Sometimes they buy the right way.
Hey, when are you gonna cook them? When are you gonna cook the okra? To put in the mic and the... Okra? Is it okra? No. Asparagus. When are you gonna cook them? But it's the kind of bundle? Oh, it does?
Just pop it in mine. It's ready.
Or do you don't have it? I'm sorry. You don't have it? She was telling me that she was
I want to know one thing. Because he don't ever show up.
Well, I told him to say.
I just guarantee you, Oliva will give her that spot right there.
They started at 4:30. Be there. He will be there in 40 minutes.
We're getting goofy up here.
Yeah. 7 o'clock, February 3rd, 2014, call to order. The City of Aransas Pass meeting tonight. Do all stand for the invocation, please? Lord, I'd like to give thanks for this beautiful day, even though it's getting a little bit wet right now this evening. Special thanks to all our people that are helping out the community by volunteering, giving their time up to help serve. Also for our officers, our firemen, and everybody that helps the city move along efficiently. Also a special blessing to all those that are ill, not feeling too well, and then all their caretakers throughout the day and throughout the weeks that work hard all night to try to bring a little comfort to the ones that aren't feeling too well. Please watch over us, guide us, help us with our decisions made tonight, and just be there to guide us with anything that may or may not make everybody happy. Anyway, we appreciate it. All your help, Lord. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This will bring us to item number 3, the consent agenda, which would be A, consider the act of the minutes on January 16th and January 20th of 2014.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 is going to be passed on due to there was no public hearing. That'll be brought up on the next one. So this is going to bring us to item number 5. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Robert Cuevas. I work with the law firm of Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson. I'm here with Nancy Vasquez. She's a partner in the law firm. And what we have before you are some offers for resale property here in Aransas Pass. We'd like you to consider for approval. Would you like me to go through each one?
Let's see. We'll just go through item A, which would be Lot 8, Block 272, Original Townsite, City of Aransas Pass. Just a quick run through.
Yes, sir. The offer is made by Next Lots Now, LLC, out of Lancaster, Texas. They've purchased property in the past in the area, and their offer is for $2,500. This particular property is located at 303 North 9th Street here in Aransas Pass, and the current value is $44,050. And if the offer is accepted, the city will gain or will be paid $232.43. And this property is a vacant lot.
Do I hear a motion on A? Any questions?
I actually don't have objections to any of these.
No, I'm fine.
If we can, I'd like to just make a motion.
You go through all of them?
I have a question. There was one that I'm not sure which one it is right offhand. That is by versus Slidell Harvey. I'll find it real quickly here.
So,
N.
Which one is it?
N.
Okay. That would be all of lots 19, 20, 21, block 755, Alamo Heights Edition. And that property is, so the last time we did a property inspection, it is a very rundown, burned out building or home. And
That's on North 12?
That's correct.
Okay. Is there any stipulations as far as what time frame he has? Because I know that house has been burned for years, and it's just been standing there. And the reason why I know is it's right across from my parents' house.
Oh, okay.
And so it's been like that for years. So
Mhm.
is there any stipulations, Sylvia, as far as how long he has, the one that's buying it, to clear it off?
Once we establish ownership and start the normal process, we've got to give them notice and due process and all of those good things. So
You talking, what, another year?
no, 6 to 9 months.
But to get the ball rolling.
6 to 9 months from start to finish.
I can tell you on his offer, he states burned out house on lot with need to be demolished. Estimated cost $3,000. So I guess he's already looked into it. I guess that's his plan. If it's approved, I can call him and talk to him and tell him that he needs to follow through with the demolition. But there'd be no way for us to make sure that would happen. But I
Okay.
can.
It would be up to us.
Okay, because I mean, it's been sitting there for years.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
That's the only question that I had on that.
Do you have any objections in yet?
No, that's the only question that I had.
Well, I make a motion that we approve all tax sales A through O.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This brings us to item number 6. Will be consider an act on the contract for fines and fees collection services by Lineberger, Gogan, Blair, and Sampson for the city of Aransas Pass. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nancy Vasquez. I'm an attorney and partner with the law firm. What we have today and what we have proposed, and I think you have it in your packet, is the proposed contract for the fees and fines collection services. As you know, we've been working with you all on this aspect for the city for the last 3 years, and we want to have the opportunity to continue business with the city of Aransas Pass, and we have the contract proposed and for your approval tonight.
Any questions?
Mayor, I've seen the contract on the changes, in regards to, Nancy, spoke to you about that, we're going to forgive any, collection fees on a certain portion. You might want to explain that.
Sure. On page 2, under Article 3, 301A, there it lists our standard fee, which is 30% of the total amount collected. And that, again, as I explained at the last council meeting, this is an add-on that the Texas legislature allows. However, prior to any criminal offenses or civil offenses committed before June 18, 2003, the city on our previous contract was paying for anything we collected. So you all, the client, would pay us for anything that we collected prior to that date of before June 18, 2003. This new contract, anything that we collect before that time, it says here, however, it is agreed that no fee will be charged to the client for those particular offenses. That's the change that was made. And this is also a 3-year contract, as was the last one.
Any questions, Vicki?
I do not.
Do I hear a motion on this?
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve the contract for fees and collection services by Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson for the city of Aransas Pass.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
You have 2 originals, and if you would sign those, I can get our matching partner to sign. And I guess we can get collected on another date.
Okay, I'll get, give us the line, something like that. Thank you. Appreciate y'all's time. Thank you. Y'all be careful on the road, it's wet. This will bring us to item number 7, consider an act on the Aransas Pass Civic Center entering into a monitoring agreement with $100 Security Services, LLC.
Well, I guess it's in front of you. Our contract is up with ADT, and I would like to sign with a different company. The contract should have been, I guess, in your packet, and it's just going to be a cheaper rate. It's a local company. I think their customer service is a little bit, in my opinion, higher than ADT's. So.
How long has Sandoller been doing this?
15 to 20 years, something like that.
And the contract is for a year?
2 years.
2 years.
Which is, I guess, industry standard.
And the price is, that's $324?
Yes, a year. I think it comes out to be $81 a quarter, and that's probably 10% less than what we were paying.
Is there any kind of hidden deal?
Oh, no.
Lego or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I mean,
just want to make sure.
what?
If you cancel at any time, you have to pay the rest of the contract.
Well, you have to, I mean, it's a contract. It's.
This is who you want?
Yes. It's for security monitoring. They do my camera work already, but it's just that.
And it's a local company. It's not a, we call an 800 number. And get
Yes, absolutely. You get somebody on the phone instead of, being on hold for 15 minutes.
Okay, are they also going to take care of repairing cameras?
Yeah,
With that?
well,
Okay, that's all part of it?
our equipment, even with ADT, is, the contract that we are out of, it's our equipment. We fulfilled our contract, so it's ours. So any work we have done on it, we would be paying out of pocket anyway, and it would be the same thing with them.
Well, I make a motion that we enter into a contract with Sandoller Security Services for the Civic Center.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This will bring us to item number 8, consider and act on amending the Aransas Pass Code of Ordinances, Part 2, the Code Chapter 18, Offenses of Miscellaneous, Article 1, in General Section 18-9, discharging firearms, air guns, or string guns ordinance by making discharging firearms in the city limits a Class C misdemeanor.
Well, I will speak for Chief Blanchard since he had to travel, and I won't be as eloquent as Chief Blanchard, so I'm going to give you exactly what he said. Right now, it's illegal to shoot a BB gun, but not a firearm per se. We use state law to enforce as needed, but it would be nice not having to arrest everyone, especially those that do recreational shooting, simply because they do not know better when out on the flats. This will also assist in those who bring trash to the flats to shoot when they're able to start, when we are able to start citing them for violation of ordinances. So it's just clarifying a current ordinance that we have on the books and not relying on state law.
And this won't affect at all the duck hunters? It does not? Okay.
Philip, I don't own a gun.
We've got a lot of duck hunters.
Yes.
Use Aransas
It's big
Pass.
dollars.
Yes.
So do I hear a motion on item number 8? Is there any more questions?
I'll make a motion we amend the Aransas Pass Code and Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 18, Article 1, discharging firearms, air guns, or spring guns in city limits.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good job. This will bring us to item number 9, consider and enact on the ordinance amending the Aransas Pass Code of Ordinances, Part 2, the Code, Chapter 2, Administration, Division 5, Memorial Commission, Section 2-26 through 2-31, in order to create a more diversified membership base, clarified council authority, and establish member meetings, times, and dates.
Council, the item before you was originally going to discuss appointing 2 members to the Memorial Commission, and also seating the member that the Chamber of Commerce recommended. It turns out the member that the Chamber of Commerce recommended was not a member of their board of directors. So the Chamber has approached us to allow any member that is within their organization to serve on the board as their representative. In addition, right now, the way the code reads, there are no established meeting times, so it's called at the request of the chair. In order for us to meet open records requests and such, it's necessary to have a member of staff compile the minutes and request. So that portion was a request of mine to have a set meeting date. It's been brought to my attention they don't meet every month, so we would simply post no meeting necessary. And then the other item was there was some ambiguity in the language as to the commission's recommendation and possible action on any memorial that seemed derelict in the city. That is a council action. The commission is merely a recommending body, so it's just some language to clarify that. I know there's been some discussion about the chamber membership, whether or not that person would need to live in the city limits. So if that is the desire of council, that needs to be a motion made on the floor.
I believe it should.
And I also think, and I feel like that the chamber member should live in Aransas Pass in order to be served on the commission.
So on item number, the actual language that would be stricken is actually under section 226, the item that's stricken that says one member of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. So it's council's recommendation that that item read member of the Chamber of Commerce who resides in Aransas Pass.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Okay. The meetings are proposed to be the second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. After discussion with the mayor, it just seems to be able to allow working people to attend the meetings, number one. And number two, we already have MDD and Crime Board on Thursdays. We have Planning and Zoning on Monday nights, Council on alternate Monday nights. So the calendar fills up very quickly. So in order for me to allocate the resources, I'm asking for Tuesdays now.
So second Tuesday of the month.
Second Tuesday of the month, yes, sir.
At what time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
And again, if there's no business to be held, we would simply post no business.
Yeah, standard notification, just like we do.
Yes. Standard
Meeting
notification.
or no meeting.
It helps us establish a calendar on when we need to publish in the paper and post the agenda.
Correct. Sure. And having a set day of, the
Yes.
second Tuesday is a set date, so that
Yes.
makes it easier to plan around.
Yes. The other item was on 231. The language did say power to recommend remedies. There was a little bit of ambiguity there. The additional language says the city council shall make the final determination on the appropriate remedies of such memorials. So although the Memorial Commission may recommend an improvement or et cetera, they can't take action without this council agreeing on the appropriateness of that recommendation.
And I know, like in the past, as far as the councils, we've always, taken their the consideration of the whatever board comes before us. In most cases, we
Absolutely.
we
That's
agree with what they
same thing with
what
the
they
planning and
say.
zoning.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. That's why the boards and commissions serve. They wouldn't serve if they were going to get overturned every single time.
Right. If there's no other, I'll make a motion that we accept the, what is it, the ordinance amending the Aransas Pass Code of Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 2, Division 5. Do I have to read the whole thing? With just the change on there to have a, that the chamber appointee be a
Member of
resident,
member of the Chamber of Commerce who resides in Aransas Pass.
just for that change.
You got all that, Yvonne?
I'm glad.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Too many voters.
This will bring us to item number 10, consider and act on appointing members to the Aransas Pass Memorial Commission.
Mayor and Council, we, Karen Mayer and Patty Gilden are both current members. Karen Mayer has withdrawn her application, so the only two applicants at this point are Patty Gilden and Jen Rabinowitz.
Well, I make a motion that we appoint Patty, or reappoint Patty Gilden and Jen Rabinowitz.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Summers, who is the chamber recommendation, is not listed for action because we didn't know whether the ordinance amendment was going to pass. So that will be at the subsequent meeting, yes, sir. Which will be in due time because they meet, their terms expire on the 19th.
Okay, excellent. This will bring us to item number 11, consider and act on entering into a contract with LNV Engineering to create an annexation plan and possible CCN amendment in the exempt areas of the city.
Mayor and Council, our last discussion when we were talking capital improvement planning and talked about growth areas in the city, the area that is absolutely ripe for annexation is what is along this corridor. We have heavy industry forming. This is toward the TPCO. There's McCampbell Airport. This is toward the Chinese pipeline. It's expected that all of this area is going to develop with ancillary industry to serve Cheniere and TPCO. So it's important that we begin to move toward annexing these areas, and we're considering them exempt because of the number of residential units that are within that area. Additionally, I've spoken to you several times about our need to head toward the Ingleside boundary. Ingleside is proposing some CCN amendments, which is our certificates of necessity, which allows them to serve our water and sewer customers. That is a very lucrative part of city business. It would be shameful for us to allow our customers to be served by another municipality. So this contract with LNV helps capture some of this annexation area as well as begin the CCN amendment process.
This contract is for how long?
Until it's completed. I have members of LNB here who can address the council on some expected timeframes.
Mayor, Council, good evening. Good evening. My name is Robert Vieira, Vice President of LNB. We anticipate this process to take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, I'd imagine. And I have Juan Perales, he'll also be assisting on this. You think it'll take any longer than that, Mr. Perales, as far as?
Well, the most time-consuming part of the process will be the public notification.
Right.
So, all things considered, probably, if there's no bumps along the way, maybe 90 days.
Okay. So within 90 days, we should have that. We should have it complete. And of course, we'll be working with the city attorney to make sure that those areas are exempt, as far as exempt areas for annexation, they comply with the law. So, any other questions or?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Thank you very much.
It's going to come pretty hard and pretty fast in terms of extending toward that Ingleside boundary, but it is really a protection of assets and revenue.
It's time to move forward.
I make a motion that we enter into a contract with L&B Engineering to create an annexation plan and possible CCN amendment in the exempt area of the city.
Thank you. The exempt area is
Is
what's
key.
important. Yes.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This brings us to item number 12, consider and act on the follow-up capital improvement planning workshop.
Mayor and Council, we have been talking to bond counsel about a follow-up presentation to you on the payment of the bonds and the timing and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'd like to schedule something for next week, the week of the 10th, if at all possible. If not, we're open to alternate dates. The question was posed to me on, is this refinancing or refunding any of the Civic Center or any of the Aquatic Center debt? And the answer is no. The second question, or the second issue that is of concern, is the Federal Reserve has pulled back on how many municipal bonds they're buying. So there is an attempt for municipalities to flood the market. So we're trying to stay ahead of that curve, not trying to force the issue to make you to make a decision today, but the capital improvement presentation will come with a calendar, and we have to get to a certain level that we're all comfortable with on what the money's going to be spent on. Not a granular level to tell you how many swing sets we're going to put in, but we need to identify those areas for improvement.
What's the 14th?
14th's on a Friday.
It's Valentine's Day.
Oh, he can't do it.
That's Valentine's Day.
As I said, I'll be at the high school to support our youth on that day. I'm gonna try to hit a home run.
Very good. So what day, I know Tuesday, I have a meeting already. That's the second Tuesday, right? So I already have a meeting on that day.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday? I'm okay with Thursday.
I'm tied up. I'm gonna be on the island from the 13th through the probably 24th to 25th.
So how about Monday?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Monday or Wednesday? I can do Monday.
You can or cannot? Okay.
Wednesday, the 12th.
Yeah. The 12th hump day.
So good.
Sounds good.
I can't make it on a Wednesday. But that's okay. I'm just the only one. So.
We'll get a quorum.
No, I mean, you have enough, but I won't be able to. That's church night for me, so.
We're looking at Wednesday the 12th.
Okay. Does council recommend a time?
I can do it Tuesday. I
And
can call.
Tuesdays?
I can do the
Tuesday?
other.
Is that
I can
good
call
for
the
you?
other.
I can do Tuesday.
As long as it's past 7 o'clock, I can do that.
You got 7:02?
Perfect.
How about that? I'll just call the other
Tuesday?
place.
And would that be
The 11th.
Okay.
Tuesday the 11th.
At 7, right?
Okay, at 7 p.m.?
Yep.
Okay.
Make a motion that we have a capital improvement planning workshop, February the 2nd, 7 p.m. at City Hall.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sylvia, on that one, are we going to address some of the concerns or the areas? I know that we were looking at expanding some of the services to.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, he'll be available to answer any questions on, number one, is it possible to fund it? And then
Okay.
we'll have staff here, so if you have some questions in advance you want us to address, please send them to me so we can make sure we have it
Okay.
correct on the screen.
I'll bring us up to you, Ms. Carrillo, City Manager updates.
Well, we have a few updates. Work on the water tower has stalled. The company who was subcontracted to do the painting work received a anonymous tip, and there's a TCEQ violation. They didn't pull one of their appropriate permits for the sandblasting component of it. So I'm working with TCEQ to facilitate that and get it moving along quickly. They don't perceive that to put the other tanks behind schedule, because at this point it is just a matter of painting our logo. The other thing is we have 3 university sponsorships. One from the university, Texas A&M University Kingsville, who is offering to come and do some ethics and similar training to all of our boards and commissions as part of one of their ethics classes. 2, Dr. Jorgensen's capstone class for the MPA program, the Master of Public Administration program. Our fire department is not accredited, and there are very few fire departments actually in the state that are accredited. And in order to accredit a fire department, it's about a $250,000 proposition. The master students are going to get us more than halfway there toward accreditation, and that'll be part of their capstone program. The other Texas A&M Corpus Christi program is their program evaluation class. They're going to take a good hard look at our aquatic center and find out what we can do to better improve our operations there and stop hemorrhaging money. And over the summer, I anticipate the same type of assistance with the collection center. And that's what I have.
What is the progress on the removing the debris there at the collection center? How is that coming?
The shingle debris, we're taking 2 and 3 truckloads to San Antonio every week. We have found another site in Corpus Christi that would take the shingles. All in all, cost-wise, we're going to try to use them secondary because there is a cost per load, and believe it or not, it's cheaper to go to San Antonio than it is to dump here.
Even with the gas expense?
Even with the gas and personnel expense.
Wow.
Yeah, because we had a one-time sunk cost of $25,000, and then the fuel and the personnel is already a sunk cost, but the fuel and the maintenance. The amounts of trips that we could dump in Corpus Christi as we get closer toward the end of the year, if it becomes that we may have a surplus, which we're trying to, whatever we end up negotiating with our trash people, will just allow us to get that debris out there much quicker. I'm hoping that by the end of this year we will have all of the shingles out and then begin to address the brush.
And by then maybe we'll be able to burn what we have out there, or?
That's been an ongoing battle with TCQ that I've not even begun to gain ground on. You know, it's been a wet and cold year. I didn't anticipate this much pushback on being able to burn at least 50% of it, even if we moved it off site. Because that's an old waste site, they have a very big issue. They've offered us some grants assistance to get like a mulcher to do that mulch, but then mulch poses a different kind of fire risk. So we're kind of in a rock and a hard place. It goes up much faster. Oh, Texas Parks and Wildlife will be here February the 18th to discuss our boat launch.
The 18th?
Yes, February the 18th.
When they're here, are you going to have Facebook to answer questions?
Yes, actually, the consulting engineer as well as the contractor will have to answer to Parks and Recreation.
Good.
Ultimately, ultimately the city is going to be held responsible, and I think I mentioned to council the solutions.
I have a question. Will that be a fee from our engineering company to the city for being here?
I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask them before they come out.
Tell them to send the cheapest guy.
Any other questions for our city manager? No? Yeah. Ms. Carrillo, appreciate it a lot. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
This will bring us to item number 14, which is one of my favorite, citizens' comments. We have 3 minutes to present your case, name, and whatever you want to discuss.
My name is Paul Brummett.
Going back to number 8, y'all setting our meetings on the second Tuesday every month at 6 o'clock for the Memorial Commission?
Yes, sir, if you have one that's going to be called.
And down to number 10, as of tonight, I'm resigning from the Memorial Commission. I got on that board because we didn't have a scheduled meeting, and we never had any problems with it. I can understand that citizens need to know what's going on, but I'm given 2 nights a week already on the meetings that I attend, and I'm not going to do a third one.
And y'all don't have meetings all the time every month, right? It's just once in a blue moon whenever y'all need to get together.
No matter, it's at nighttime. I like it during the daytime.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate your service, Mr. Brumman.
The ordinance requires council to take action within 30 days, so we will solicit additional applications and have it to you at the next council meeting.
Is there anybody else? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner, Council. For the mayor I've met before, and Councilmember Gomez I think I've seen. I'm Jack Cheney. I'm your county commissioner from Aransas County. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. I apologize for not having been here sooner, but it seems like Ms. Carrillo has everything well in order, and we really appreciate it. We visit a lot. She's just a breath of fresh air. But I want to tell you, I watch Aransas pass. I've known Alan for a long time, and I used to teach here. I watched it grow and expand. And this issue with the annexation towards the area of growth is a good deal. It's a good deal. Those of you that were on the council before know that I stood against the annexation into an area that was a non-growth area. But Sylvia is exactly correct. There's 2 things you got to take into account whenever you're in this particular time, and that is one, you're only going to get one shot at the growth. Okay, so you need to be ready for it. But the second thing, and I think perhaps even the most important thing, is the allocation of water in the Sandpat pipeline is critical. And if you're not on board with CCN, whenever they start hitting the next critical path, you're not going to be able to get on board with CCN. You're not going to be able, because you're a city or because you're a port entity or anything like that, whenever that water pipeline is 100% allocated, you will not be able to expand. That will not occur. It will not occur. And I see the figures several times. I sit on several committees that deal with water into the area, and which Ms. Carrillo and I have talked about a lot. But we're looking at about 80% total commitment in the pipeline, even with the new reservoir that they're coming into. So expanding your CCN at this particular time is probably the single most important long-term thing that you can do. Without a doubt, in my mind, that is the single most important thing that you can do. And Sylvia is exactly right. She's very visionary in that area, and I think the council has taken the proper steps here. Alan's seen it in good times and bad times and everything. But buddy, if you don't have water, you don't have growth. You can't even sustain where you're at. So I applaud that. And if there's anything I can do, even though that's not in Aransas County, I know the city of Rockport is looking at exactly the same thing. So thank you very much. Wish you the best. If I can help you with anything, let me know.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Richard Gonzalez. I live in the neighborhood I call Walmart Heights, outside the city. And another twist to annexation is there are people like us who are caring about this community that I moved to 15 years ago, and we can't sit on commissions because we don't live in the city limits. But if you looked at amending your broadening the scope of participation to those who live in the annexable areas of Aransas Pass, that might allow us to be, when you do finally come and annex, we'll be ready. We'll be participating. We'll be able to link the past with the present and the future. But I'm here to talk about an event that I started in 2010 to help the NJROTC program when they suddenly qualified for Navy Nationals, when they were on the heels of following the greatness of Flower Bluff NJROTC program, and they needed to raise money. And when I moved here 15 years ago, I told my friend Henry Newman, he said, you know what, this is the most overrepresented city in Texas. We have 3 counties, 3 congressmen. We only have 2 now. At that time, we had Ron Paul, Solomon Ortiz, and Ruben Hinojosa. And we have 3 county governments represented, 2 state senators, 3 state representatives at the time in 98. And we have no road to nowhere and no empty office building to show for it. What is wrong with our representation or over-representation? One of these days, we're going to put all these people together under the same roof at the same time, and we're going to whack them across the head about Aransas Pass. And so that's what I did. Jack Chaney, he has perfect attendance. He'd been to both of the events, 2010 and 2011.
I may miss his next.
No, he's not. He is scheduled to be roasted. This is a roast and toast event, February the 24th, Monday. I guess we can have the city council, and we can rent one of the rooms of the civic council for you all to meet over there so you can come and mingle with the crowd. But it's, my original goal was maybe 200 folks. Todd Hunter, we scheduled this because of Todd's schedule. He's been there every event. Terry Simpson has been there every event. And because of Sylvia and the fact that she knows so many people in the city of Corpus Christi. In fact, I was having lunch last night at Luciano's, and I wasn't quite sure if it was Carlos Valdez because he wasn't wearing his glasses. And the minute he put his glasses on, I'm going like, that's Carlos. So I go over there, and I'm talking to him, and here comes Butch Escovedo walking in. And I told these folks, I haven't seen these people in a long time. Since 1998, when I moved over to Corpus, from Corpus to Aransas Pass. Butch says, where have you been? I'm going, I've been in Aransas Pass. And I said, well, we have Sylvia Carrillo over there now. She's, can I quote you? A breath of fresh air. The Dentine girl, you're going to be running around with a big smile all over the place. Anyways, long story short, Carlos says, oh, that's our loss. And I says, no, that's your gain. As a coastal environmental educator, when you're talking about drainage and water supplies and pipelines and sharing of our natural resources, I talked to David Loeb at Earth Day Bay Day a couple of years ago when they were looking at the regional water plan and this and that. And I says, well, if Corpus does this, and all of the other communities around Corpus don't do that, what have you gained? What good how effective is your environmental policy when it comes right down to it? Everybody has to base this on an ecosystem, on a watershed. That is the most sensible thing to do. So the power of having been, and I moved here from Corpus, and I'm proud to say that I am the only non-resident, speaking of who's qualified, I'm the only non-resident of Corpus Christi. I was living in Aransas Pass at the time because I went to Lloyd Neal and says, Lloyd, you need a sesquicentennial committee to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Corpus. They have 3 birthdays, by the way, in Corpus, so they're still kind of confusing. That's why they never organize themselves.
Mr. Gonzalez, you got 1 minute left.
Okay, with that said, I'm not necessarily here to sell you tickets because Sylvia's already agreed to buy a table for the city, but I am here to let you know that the event is going to happen. We're going to bring some of these over 70 elected officials who represent Aransas Pass to our Civic Center. We are going to emerge as the Science and Spanish Club Network as a 501c3 headquartered in Aransas Pass. We've been in the school districts here since 2003. We've been bringing people here for years to help clean up the lighthouse lakes and draw them attention to the Redfish Bay. We're the world seagrass capital of the world. You've heard of all these things. So now we bought an airboat, and we're about to get a building, and I'm going like, oh my God, we have expenses. I better start raising money. So this is why the event has jumped itself. This will be our annual event. We are reaching out to the Rotary of Aransas Pass, who will have a chance to take advantage of the setting that is going to happen. This will be an annual event, and it will give you an opportunity and the city manager to showcase our community, and it'll give me a chance to showcase how our Science and Spanish Club Network is going to show governmental bodies, whenever you have a grant, because this is the trend, you must do public education and outreach, and that is our forte. We've been at Shrimpery for 7 years promoting seagrass awareness. We've been at Oyster Fest. We've been in so many festivals doing outreach that government workers don't like to do because it's a weekend. So we're there. So they're going to be coming. We hope you will support the event. We want the mayor, you already have a seat at the head table, along with the others. And I look forward to We have a Facebook page now, so the storyline has been started. So if you have nothing else to do after tonight's meeting, go to Facebook and start reading a little bit of the evolution of the event. Thank you very much.
What Mr. Gonzalez failed to mention is that we will be roasting one of each of our county commissioners. So Mr. Cheney has graciously agreed to be roasted. Joe McComb, our Nueces County Commissioner, who we rarely see, has agreed to be roasted. And at this point, Jim Price will be out of town, so we're waiting confirmation on Judge Simpson and/or Todd Hunter.
Jim has a good excuse. He's at an alleged aviation meeting for the museum up in Austin at the time, and I asked him, "Would you mind being roasted, not present?" And he said, "No, I will not." So as soon as we get the third hitter, we're ready to go and start the evites and generate a lot of interest to our community. Thank you.
Richard's right. It's time to let folks know Randall's passes on the map. There you go.
Get it started. Well, as you can see, we have the mic open. Is there anybody else who would like to speak their piece or bring a concern up? No. Well, if not, I appreciate everybody that stood up. Mr. Brumman, I do thank you again. I do appreciate everybody taking the time and effort to be here. This is going to bring us to item number 15. We're going to recess the open meeting and retire to the executive session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, which would be A 551.071, consultation with the attorney, legal matters concerning Naismith Engineering. Item B 551.071, consultation with the attorney with legal matters with our municipal court warrants. And the time is 7:47. It's good to see you again, sir. Appreciate you coming up here.
Scott Harris.
Yeah, I knew it. I'm like, you got to be a name of the meeting.
Yeah. How you Sylvia?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, you please call me in the morning. Maybe we can undo something like that. If there's somebody else Sorry. That's I'll try. We'll put some protection.
I've just gotten off the water bill for why, so I just thought I'd put my hand in.
Oh. I'm looking forward to this actually.
Oh, getting
Yeah. I wanted to know if you had a few minutes maybe this week. I can come over here and just kind of meet with you one-to-one and see what's going on. Coming on the agenda.
Amanda might have her show back out, so just get with her on the calendar. I only ask for potty breaks and travel.
Okay.
That's it.
Very well.
All right.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Stormwater.